Okay, so I've just figured out the solution to this one. Not super intuitive learning this section here, so I just want to talk through this for myself. So we had to set the constant of the y-axis, which made sense to me. We're going to use D3 with the method run on axis left, method function, etc. Just understanding the logic, right? So I believe it's a method, but axis left, calling upon the y scale, which that made sense to me, right? There it is, right here. So, yep. And I said that earlier, and we worked through that. That makes sense to me. Okay, so this is where it got a bit weird. So I understood to make a new group object. So on this visual I've made, I want to append and add another group object here. Is that how we, or a group element, I'm sorry, group element. Okay. Otherwise the line, yes. G stands for group element. Right. Okay, so then I gave an attribute to transform itself, start moving the shape, moving the line. I need to translate it or move it, what did we say? Over to the right and down, right? So this is where this was a little confusing because in my mind, these parentheses here make this entire thing a string and it shouldn't be read as a number or a method or anything because that's what we learn in JavaScript to start. That quotes create strings and they change that type of data, right? So they change to a number, or not from a number, they change a number to a string, right? Or something like this. But I learned and had to do a little bit of research because I had actually written this kind of correctly. Yeah, I put the 0 here earlier. And I actually did put padding here in the middle, but this really bothered me, this just empty quote with nothing next to it. So how this works, and forgive me if you have a better explanation, feel free to chime in. But it reads translate. They just explained. Translate is a string in the attribute method above, so it has to be a string. It has to be a string. Within the string, you actually have to interrupt it like they did here. You have to interrupt the string. And I don't need to, and there's their empty stuff at the end. So I don't need to add anything to the first thing it's reading. The first thing it's trying to work with here. This ends here. Actually, this made a bit more sense because I highlighted it. Interesting. Okay, so if I take all this out, let's look at it a different way. Out. So if I take all this, nope. Yes, maybe. Whoops, sorry. Okay, so there's the method. Open, close. There's the parentheses. That makes some sense to me. Okay. And then when I put this back, here's all the information it needs within its method. Okay, good. And so then if I use the parentheses, here's one chunk. Well, I guess technically, right, it's multiple because there's the concatenation here. But here's one thing it's reading. So it's reading nothing plus add in the padding. I'm saying the word nothing, but this is technically a space. Then put in a comma to introduce the second number, right? The second thing it needs to work with. This is dynamic, so if I wanted to do something weird, I don't know, 90. Yeah, there you go. Do you see it's changing here on this side? What if we did like 200? Ooh, it's so little. Look at that. Oh my gosh. 30. Oh, that's kind of nice. I would have done 30, I think. Okay, so cool, because padding is dynamic. This is a this is a constant we set up here, but that constant we can change and manipulate. So as opposed to like having the word doing like 80, yeah, and it scoots it over. And then if we messed with the padding, it was like 90. Yeah, so we're changing things, but they're not changing in relationship to each other as like a cohesive unit. So we want the word padding in here so that the math is mathing. Okay, so attribute transport. This is actually starting to make some sense. I really dislike this this writing here. It really bothers me a lot because it does not feel intuitive. But I'm learning that lots of how we write certain types of code and stuff can feel super non-intuitive, and you just kind of have to learn and research and look it up and apply the right writing style in a sense to the code. So quotation mark, yeah, I have to think this through one more time, sorry. Translate, yeps, and then I don't need anything here. I need it to read this entire chunk. And it stops reading here and this closes down. Yeah, very odd coding writing style. I don't even know what we call syntax. Yeah, very odd syntax. Really don't love that. But it works and it makes sense. And I understand like the logic behind it roughly. That was tough. But I'm done. Yay. I hope this helped you. Just learning that some things are not intuitive and sometimes you have to go do some extra learning and look it up and try to understand like why things are the way that they are. And you know, there's other ways to write this as well, which just so many different things to learn. So hope this helped you and catch you around. Let's run the tests. Haha. Yes. All right. See ya.